Yeah, I've been painting for 6-7 years. It started with my brother live painting at shows. My brother was a live painter. I just vended. I wasn't confident enough to paint live, but I've been doing hair, getting bored with it, not being able to express myself as much, and I couldn't be free. And with art, I can be free.
Well, I've been creating art since I was a young kid. Actually, I've been creating art since I was a kid, seriously. I always wanted to be an artist when I was young. My grandma and my grandpa was an artist. He did sign painting his whole life. So, kind of like typography, like calligraphy, but it's more straight letters and stuff like that.
So we're using recycled materials, windows, just anything we could find.
What inspires you?
Mostly just daily life. I think just pure human emotion. My work's I guess you could say that it's very personal. A lot of people, now it's a lot of pop culture is being super emotional isn't the most popular thing right now. I think it's just I think everything's really dumbed down to where everyone sees an image that's been around for years and years and years, and they enjoy seeing it. So I don't know. I pretty much just pure human emotions my influence, just really personal things I've been through and stuff like that. That's usually what inspires me the most. Is just stuff like that.
What inspires me? Emotions. Emotions. What people go through. Just pain, I guess. I can never be comfortable. If I'm ever comfortable, I can't create good art. Art is that hole inside my stomach. That's that homesick feeling, that empty hole. That goes away whenever I create art. Cause through my art, it's what I can't explain in English to people with what feelings I feel all around me. I try to explain it through color in my art. The feelings that I feel that I can't put into words. It's, I guess, expressionism, what people would call it. You just have to change what people see in the world. I just want a drastic, shift in media with whatever platform I create over the years of me doing hair and art. And hopefully I can make a difference through this, more so on a bigger scale. But that's what inspires me. Just positivity, pain, any contradictions living. I'm a living contradiction, and I think that's what art is in a form. Anyways.
I made these, actually, that's crazy. I made this when I was 8, and that's the original my grandma had me copy. Yeah, that's when I started kind of actually taking art pretty seriously as a young kid, because I did that and my grandma told me it was good, so I thought it was something I could do forever,
This is my first step into the fine art world with the show in Troy called Frati. It's brothers in Romanian. That's what the show means. So, yep, that's where we're at.
We're brothers, so it's we get along and stuff, but it's not super easy. I think anybody that has a sibling can agree with that, but it's also super inspiring to work with somebody that has the same drive as you and has the same inspiration as you and has a totally different outcome with the product. The actual painting itself, we have totally different styles but the same inspiration. So when you look at his art, you'll see that it has similarities to mine and my context, but it's not at all. Because if you look at my stuff, I do somewhat use cleaner lines and stuff, and I kind of make it more. I have like a sloppy-ish way of painting, but I also use clean lines and try to be bold with it. So it's really cool to see that we both have the exact same inspiration almost. It's you can tell that it's like all from the inside of his personal discoveries as a human being and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's cool to see how different it is. It's definitely way different than any collaborative show I've ever done. So it's pretty cool.
What can you tell us about this upcoming show?
That it's definitely something. It's definitely gonna be something different. It's gonna be way different than what people are normally used to. Because one, the show is not in Detroit, and a lot of people aren't very used to coming to the Metro Detroit area. So I think that in itself is bringing Detroit art and Detroit artists into a Metro Detroit area, because we've been involved in the Detroit art scene for about 8 years or so. So it's really interesting to see that gap being bridged to where people from Detroit are going to have to come to the Metro Detroit area to see Detroit art. And I think that's going to be very interesting to see. And I also think it's very important that we are bringing Detroit culture into Metro Detroit area, because Metro Detroit is not Detroit. So I think it's really going to be super awesome and different. So
Well, this shows me it's going to be good because it's so hard to work with. It's so hard for us to work together and get along because of the age difference and just the younger older brother thing. I'm 30, he's 25, and just us working together alone or hanging out is hard to do without fighting. So the fact that we created something together, we'll see like if we fight at the show or not. No, but it's just like for us to come together to do something, like that's the hardest part. It's not the art, it's us like actually working together.
Where's it gonna be?
it's gonna be at the Art of Custom Framing in Troy, Michigan, off Rochester Road. So it's a cool place. The Art of Custom Framing is a really neat place to be involved in, and it's a really neat place to go look at art and see all the projects that they do and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really neat place.
Anything else you want to say?
I just hope to see everyone there and see people interacting with the work, and hopefully them viewing that work can give them or fill a piece of them that's missing. Maybe they can see that somebody feels the way that they do, and feel inspired or feel better about whatever it is that is giving them troubles or something. Because that's something I look for in art, is something that makes me feel like I'm not alone, and something that makes me feel good about and positive about life, knowing that someone has same thoughts and inspiration as me.
6 years later, now we're like doing the show together.
It's crazy. We used to work together like constantly, and then but we never had like a gallery show together. I've done 2 solo exhibitions that were like not at like what would you call it, like a real gallery. They were at like just like a hosted venue that I found. So I mean, but I didn't want to go to a gallery. I wanted to be in a venue where I did it all on my own and stuff like that. So I chose to do it in that environment or whatever, which was cool and stuff like that. But I never had a show with my brother like in a even at a venue or anything where it was just me and him showing art and people coming in to see me and him. What we're painting or our pieces that we've painted. We've never done a show together. Done group shows. Kyle has, and we've never specifically worked together, which is just crazy for us because we've been working together for so long. and to not work together, you know, it's kind of strange, but it's happening now, and I think that's why people should come out.
Like I said, we weren't working together because it's hard to work together. We grew up to a point where it's the right time. Now's the time. We're finally both mature enough to get along and
It's also
to
hell.
do this. Yeah, like this show is the hardest. The hardest thing about it is getting along doing it. That is it. Like the art and all that in its own, like, and that's what creates our art. Probably this tension, and that's what we're both. We have that. He's the younger brother, I'm the older brother, but my ego is crazy, and I'm a Leo. So, and he's a Taurus. So that's like a.
They're two pretty powerful signs right there.